I recently purchased a new bicycle helmet with MIPS technology in it. In this video, I'll briefly describe what MIPS technology is and my experience of using a helmet with MIPS in it. The helmet I purchased was a Laser Z1, and there's a short review linked above. Although the word MIPS is used as a standalone marketing term, it originally stood for Multi-Directional Impact Protection System. The aim of MIPS is to add additional protection conferred by a helmet by further reducing the accelerations and forces acting on the brain should you be involved in an accident. Here's an example of the marketing material that came with my helmet. First of all, let's compare my old helmet without MIPS to my new helmet with MIPS. The old helmet is on the left. I've removed any padding, and as you can see, the helmet polystyrene will sit directly on my head. On the right, in the new helmet with MIPS, there's a thin plastic liner.
Let's have a look at what this MIPS technology consists of. It's fairly basic in that it's a simple, fairly thin sheet of plastic that sits inside the shell of the helmet, and it's held in place by some effectively small rubber bands or plugs. The idea being that if you have an accident and you have some forces acting on the helmet and your head tries to stay still, then the outer part of the helmet can move, and this means that your head doesn't move as far or as fast, therefore protecting your brain, particularly from rotational impacts. So that's it. It's a fairly simple technology. I have no way of testing it. I'm going to rely on the fact that this has some data behind it to show that the technology should work.
In my experience, there are 4 potential and actual downsides to MIPS technology. First of all, MIPS adds a bit of weight. I haven't been able to find an actual number quoted, but I guess it's only around about 20 grams or so. For me, that's insignificant. Secondly, obviously, the MIPS liner takes up some space. The amount of space it takes up is very small, and again, for me, this didn't cause a problem. Thirdly, helmets with MIPS in seem to be about £20 more expensive than those without. Again, for me, I was happy to pay this extra price. The last downside for me is the most significant. My experience was that the MIPS liner cut down the amount of ventilation and hence cooling to my head. I noted this in my last video. My experience was that the cooling reduction wasn't dramatic, but significant enough to notice. For me, it was the price I paid for having better impact protection. Just as I was finishing my recording, I noticed that MIPS had come up with a new version. They call it AirNode. It looks as though it's been designed in order to help increase the airflow through the helmet. This does address my main criticism of the helmet that I have, that is, the impedance of airflow through the helmet. I expect AirNode will find its way into the 2023 version of manufacturers' helmets.